Right now, at this very moment, millions of people are eating what they believe is a healthy meal and unknowingly triggering a biological chain reaction that will leave them exhausted, inflamed, and craving sugar within the next 90 minutes. It's not the calories, it's not the fat, it's the spike. Your blood glucose just jumped, and your body is scrambling to catch up. Here's what nobody tells you. The most dangerous metabolic damage of your entire day doesn't happen at 2 a.m. when you're sleeping. It happens in the 60 minutes right after you eat, every single day. But there's a fix, and it's already sitting in your kitchen cabinet. Today on Nature Wise Essentials, we're walking through 5 scientifically studied spices that have been shown in peer-reviewed research to blunt post-meal glucose spikes, support insulin sensitivity, and protect your cells from the hidden damage that follows every high-carb meal. These aren't trendy supplements. They're not exotic imports. They're spices you've walked past 100 times without knowing what they were actually doing inside your body. Stick with us through all 5, because the way they work together is the part most people miss entirely: the science of the spike. Let's establish the biology first, because once you understand what's happening inside you, you'll never look at a meal the same way again. Every time you eat carbohydrates, your digestive system breaks them down into glucose. That glucose enters your bloodstream. Your pancreas detects the rise and releases insulin, a hormone whose only job is to shuttle glucose into your cells for energy. A slow, moderate rise in blood glucose, that's normal. That's healthy. Your body handles it elegantly. A rapid, steep spike, that is a biological emergency signal. When glucose surges too quickly, several damaging processes activate simultaneously. Your body releases a flood of insulin to compensate, often too much, which then causes glucose to crash below baseline. This is what creates that post-lunch fog, the 3 p.m. slump, those intense carb cravings that feel impossible to resist. At the cellular level, rapid glucose spikes generate something called reactive oxygen species, unstable molecules that damage cell membranes, trigger systemic inflammation, and over time, reduce your cell's sensitivity to insulin itself. This is a cycle. Spikes lead to crashes. Crashes lead to cravings. Cravings lead to more spikes. Repeated daily, this pattern is a core driver of metabolic dysfunction, even in people who appear completely healthy. On the outside, the critical window is the first 2 hours after eating. Research published in journals like Diabetes Care and the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition consistently shows that managing post-meal glucose, what scientists call postprandial glycemia, is one of the strongest predictors of long-term metabolic health. Now, here's where the spices come in. Cinnamon. Spice number 1, cinnamon. Cinnamon has been used medicinally for over 4,000 years, but modern science has finally explained why it works. The key compound is cinnamaldehyde, along with polyphenol called type A procyanidins. Together, these compounds do something remarkable inside your digestive system. First, they slow gastric emptying, meaning food moves from your stomach into your small intestine more gradually, which flattens the glucose curve before it even begins. Second, they inhibit alpha-glucosidase and alpha-amylase, the 2 digestive enzymes responsible for breaking complex carbohydrates into simple sugars. Bold slow down those enzymes, and you slow down the sugar entering your blood. Third, at the cellular level, cinnamon's polyphenol activate proteins called GLUT4 transporters, which help move glucose into muscle cells, reducing the amount left circulating in your bloodstream. A 2003 study in Diabetes Care found that as little as 1 to 6 grams of cinnamon per day significantly reduced fasting blood glucose, triglycerides, and LDL cholesterol in people with type 2 diabetes. How to use it? Half a teaspoon in your morning oatmeal, coffee, or smoothie. Sprinkle it on roasted sweet potatoes or baked fruit. Consistency matters far more than quantity. Turmeric. Spice number 2, turmeric. You've heard turmeric is anti-inflammatory, but here's the part that rarely gets explained. Inflammation and blood sugar are not separate problems. They're the same problem. When you spike your glucose, oxidative stress increases, Oxidative stress triggers inflammatory pathways, and chronic, low-grade inflammation is one of the primary mechanisms by which your cells lose insulin sensitivity over time. Turmeric's active compound, curcumin, interrupts this cycle at multiple points. Research shows Cu, a cellular enzyme sometimes called the metabolic master switch, which increases glucose uptake in muscle tissue independently of insulin. It also reduces NF-κB signaling, one of the main inflammatory pathways triggered by glucose spikes. A 2012 randomized, controlled trial in diabetes care found that curcumin supplementation was 100% effective in preventing prediabetic participants from progressing to type 2 diabetes over a 9-month period. Critical note: curcumin has poor bioavailability on its own. Combining turmeric with black pepper, which contains piperine, increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%, according to research from Planta Medica. How to use it: add to soups, lentils, scrambled eggs, or golden milk. Always pair with black pepper. Always. Ginger. Breath, engaging tone. Spice number 3, ginger. Ginger has a unique mechanism compared to everything else on this list. It doesn't primarily target enzymes. It doesn't target inflammation. It targets motility, the rate at which food moves through your digestive tract. Ginger's active compounds, gingerols and showgales, stimulate gastric contractions and regulate the speed of intestinal transit. What that means in practice: carbohydrates are absorbed more gradually across a longer stretch of intestinal surface area rather than flooding the bloodstream all at once. Multiple studies have documented ginger's ability to inhibit alpha-glucosidase, the same enzyme cinnamon targets, while also improving insulin secretion kinetics, meaning the timing and amount of insulin your pancreas releases becomes better matched to the actual glucose arriving in your blood. A 2015 randomized, controlled trial, published in the Journal of Ethnic Foods, found that ginger supplementation significantly reduced fasting blood glucose and HbA1c, a measure of average blood sugar, over 3 months in participants with type 2 diabetes. How to use it: fresh ginger tea, 15 to 20 minutes before a meal, is one of the most effective strategies. Grated into stir-fries, soups, and smoothies. Fenugreek. Spice number 4, fenugreek. Fenugreek is the least glamorous spice on this list, and arguably the most potent for post-meal glucose control. Here's why. Fenugreek seeds contain extraordinarily high levels of soluble fiber, specifically a compound called galactomannan. When this fiber contacts water in your digestive tract, it forms a thick, viscous gel that physically slows the absorption of carbohydrates across the intestinal wall. Think of it as placing a filter inside your gut. Glucose still gets absorbed, but slowly, steadily, and without the spike beyond the fiber. Fenugreek contains a unique amino acid called 4-hydroxyisoleucine, which has been shown in research to directly stimulate insulin secretion from pancreatic beta cells in a glucose-dependent manner. That means it amplifies your insulin response only when blood sugar is actually rising, not indiscriminately. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology reviewed 25 clinical trials and concluded that fenugreek significantly reduced postprandial glucose levels across a range of populations. How to use it: soak 1 teaspoon of seeds overnight. Drink the water in the morning. Add seeds to rice, bread dough, or lentil dishes. Cloves. Spice number 5, cloves. Cloves are, gram for gram, one of the most antioxidant-dense foods on the entire planet, and in the context of blood sugar, that matters more than you might think. Cloves' primary active compound is eugenol, a phenolic compound with a specific, well-studied mechanism. It inhibits pancreatic lipase and alpha-glucosidase, slowing both fat and carbohydrate digestion simultaneously. More importantly, eugenol and related compounds in cloves, including gallic acid and ellagic acid, directly neutralize reactive oxygen species. Remember those? The unstable molecules produced every time glucose spikes too fast. Cloves essentially mop up that oxidative damage in real time. Research published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that clove extract significantly improved insulin sensitivity markers and reduced oxidative stress, with human trials supporting anti-glycemic effects at realistic dietary doses. How to use it? 2 to 3 whole cloves, steeped in your evening tea, ground clove and spice rubs, or baked goods. A little, every day, that's all you need. The system. This is the part most people skip, and it's the most important. Each of these spices targets a different checkpoint in the post-meal glucose cascade. Cinnamon slows enzyme activity and improves cellular glucose uptake. Turmeric reduces the inflammation that follows a spike. Ginger regulates the speed of digestion and optimizes insulin timing. Fenugreek physically blocks rapid carbohydrate absorption with soluble fiber. Cloves neutralize the oxidative damage that spikes cause at the cellular level. Used together, not all in one meal, but distributed intelligently throughout the day, these 5 spices create overlapping metabolic protection. One fills the gap where another doesn't reach. Morning coffee with cinnamon, eggs with turmeric and black pepper, ginger tea before lunch, fenugreek in your lentil dish at dinner, cloves steeped in evening tea. Your body gets coverage at every stage. Every meal becomes a more metabolically stable event. Final takeaway plus CTA. Post-meal glucose spikes are silent. They don't feel dramatic, but they accumulate day after day, meal after meal, shaping your energy, your mood, your cognitive function, and your long-term metabolic trajectory. The research is clear. The tools are inexpensive, and they've been in your spice cabinet this entire time. Start with 1. Add cinnamon to your morning routine this week. See how you feel, then build from there. Warm. If this video gave you something useful, please like it and share it with someone whose energy or sugar cravings have been bothering them. It might be exactly what they've been looking for. Subscribe to Nature Wise Essentials for more science-backed guidance.